Hey guys, Shy here, and I wanted to show you guys some loadouts I kind of concocted um, just to try to help out anybody who is feeling like they're a little bit outgunned in Black Ops 2. I plan on doing a video maybe with some uh, more standard loadouts. These are going to be catered to if you feel like you're a bit of a noob, or if you feel like you're underperforming a lot and you just need a little bit of cheese on your side, maybe a little gimmick on your side, you know? So, without further ado, we'll get started with our loadouts here. So this one here, I just got called Team Assist. And the idea with this one is going to be you are going to run these two score streaks, and then after that, the last one's kind of up to you. I would probably pick one in between, like one of these two, so that you can get your care package a little easier. And once again, if you're struggling to get score streaks, then the lower difficulty ones are probably going to be ideal. So I'd say like maybe something like this. That way, once you get your hunter killer, you're home free, because you'll throw it up in the air and it'll get you your care package for you, unless it doesn't kill someone. So let's say we run those here, and here's our loadout. So I kind of went back and forth between I wanted a full auto AR, and when it comes to full auto ARs, like I think that the Scar and the AN94 are the best, not counting like the FAL with select fire or something like that, you know? So it's kind of up to your preference. I went with the Scar. I prefer the Scar a little bit to the AN94. But you can try them out, see what you think. I think Quick Draw is probably a must-have here for this loadout, but the second attachment's kind of up to you. I went with Suppressor. I like rocking the Suppressor on certain weapons, and the Scar is one of them. But if you find you're reloading a lot and getting caught lacking for it, you could go with a fast mag. You could go with extended clip if you find you're spraying a lot and you're like just out of bullets before you get the kill. Or if you want like a sight on the weapon, you could do that too. The hybrid optic is pretty cool. You get like a red dot and then you can turn it into an ACOG sight. So it kind of covers the like short to medium range with the red dot, and then you can do the long range with the ACOG sight, which is pretty cool. But say for me, you know, experiment a little bit. For me, I think Quick Draw and Suppressor is kind of what I like. And then as far as this loadout goes, then we've got Hardline. So this is going to allow us to get our score streaks like 100 points earlier, I think it is. So instead of needing 425 score for your UAV, I think you're going to need like 325, which is like 3 kills and an assist. Or I think if you plant the bomb and search and destroy, that's like 200 points. So then you would just need a kill and an assist, or something like that, you know, something that would earn you a small amount of points. The goal with this loadout is going to be just to help out your team, be kind of a team player. So we're going to be trying to get these, because these will, especially like care package and UAV, having UAVs up in the air and then having care packages to hopefully get something decent. And the nice thing with the care packages is we're going to run Engineer. So not only is Engineer going to allow us to see enemy equipment, such as like Claymores, Bouncing Betties, shock charges, stuff like that, trophy systems, even like kill streaks like Sentry Guns and Guardians and stuff like that. Not only is Engineer going to allow us to see these things and help protect our team against them, but we can re-roll care packages. So if you get your care package, you call it in, and it gives you something kind of shitty like an RCXD, you can re-roll your care package by double pressing X, and then you get another try at hopefully getting something better. So Engineer and then Toughness and Dexterity are pretty much your go-to perks to run usually, I feel like. It kind of depends on the game mode though, and like what your team is doing. But Toughness is absolutely just like must run. I think it's the one perk you just absolutely cannot live without. So, and then our tacticals here are going to be the black hats. So this allows us to hack equipment and care packages or disable enemy vehicles. So like score streaks and stuff like that. The nice thing about black hat, we're going to have 2 of them, and we are going to hack equipment when we see it. Or we're going to keep UAVs out of the air, which is a big deal. You know, your teammates might not always be running Ghost, and if you can be the guy who can save your teammates from having to run it, so they can run lightweight or flak jacket or whatever, by keeping the UAVs out of the sky, like UAV and counter UAV, you will be very appreciated by your team, even if you are not doing so well as far as kills and deaths go. So this is kind of just a standard help your team out, try to get your kill streaks, keep equipment and UAVs away so that your team can do what they do, you know? And then here's a kind of newbie loadout. And so this one's a bit flexible. I think these 7 slots are pretty well taken. I think you could swap lightweight for flak jacket or ghost if you wanted. But I'm going to keep lightweight on. And then you're going to want an FAL with select fire. And then after that, I would probably pick a sight that you would like to use. So you could go with the EOTech, for example. And then you can also change your reticle if you want, if you don't like the default one, to something you prefer. So say you love bacon, you know, you can rock the sizzle reticle on your EOTech. But yeah, the sight is kind of up to you. If you like the iron sights, maybe you go for like stock or quick draw or something. But I'm gonna go with this here, and we'll get our bacon thing. And then I got the TAC 45. This is my favorite pistol. It does good damage at close range. If you want a different pistol, feel free. They're all good except the Executioner. You could run the Executioner if you really wanted, if you're exclusively going to barrel stuff people with it, because it has no range. But I think that running something a little more flexible like the TAC or the 5.7 is probably ideal. You could run the B23R, the Cap 40 if you want. But I think these guys are probably the 2 best pistols. So I go for the TAC. And then that gives us 3 more slots on our pick 10 system. I don't recommend an attachment on the TAC. I think that it does what it needs to do very well, which is just a quick swap to your pistol. You're going to move faster while you're running with it in your hand, and you're also going to be able to get yourself out of some tricky situations if you need to reload your FAL and don't have time, or what have you. So these next 3 slots are kind of open to what you'd like to use. You could go for Claymore, you could go for Bouncing Betty shock charges, for example, and like Search and Destroy or something. If you're not sure what to do, you could go like Semtex and Concussions. It kind of is up to you. If nobody on your team is keeping UAVs out of the sky, you could go Perk 1 Greed, Ghost, and then just throw on, you know, a Claymore or something, you know what I mean? Whatever you want. Or you could, if you really wanted, you could go Overkill, grab yourself a Remington. This is kind of the R870 MCS, the Remington shotgun. This is probably like the lowest skill to highest reward weapon in the game. So if you wanted to, you could go for something like that. Maybe slap a long barrel on it or a laser sight. If you really like to ADS, you could go for quick draw. Or you could even go for a millimeter scanner if you want to be able to see dudes through the walls and stuff. So for me, for this loadout, maybe we'll keep the Remington on. We'll go laser sight, and then I have 1 more space. I'll grab a Claymore, you know? I think I like this. But there's nothing wrong with running the pistol. And it's nice for your mobility to have either a knife or a pistol as your secondary, just so you can move around the map, traverse a little quicker, especially if you combine that with lightweight and maybe even extreme conditioning if you have the space. But this is just the standard kind of newbie loadout, and the main kind of point of this loadout, like similar to how this one kind of had a point, which is help out your team in other ways besides just getting kills. This one is getting kills that maybe you don't deserve, basically, with the Select Fire FAL. That is the star of the show. The FAL is the best weapon in the game, I think. Even after the nerfs that had gotten way back in the day, it used to be even more broken, especially with Select Fire. Select Fire, what Select Fire does, you do sacrifice some accuracy, and your 2-shot kill range gets shorter. So you do lose a bit of range, like effectiveness, but what you gain is it kind of removes the skill barrier of using the FAL, because the FAL is a semi-automatic rifle. So instead of needing to really worry about a trigger finger or kind of spacing each shot or whatever you're doing, you slap Select Fire on it, and then you can just hold down the trigger and just full auto burst. If you guys haven't used Select Fire before, it's not really that great on most weapons, I find. It's kind of more gimmicky, but it is great on the FAL, and it is very noob friendly, this loadout here. And you can enable or disable Select Fire, which is nice as well, because I don't know what it's like on mouse and keyboard. Let me see if I can make it tell me on here with 5. Okay, so if you press 5 key, you can switch to automatic fire, or for controller users, it's going to be left on your D-pad. And with this here, it's just going to make your short to mid-range a lot easier for you. You're going to have to think a lot less. You just aim and hold down the trigger and hope you get the kill. When it comes to the long range, I actually recommend turning off Select Fire probably, and trying to use the burst fire. It's going to help out your accuracy and your range, and I think that is helpful to have. One thing I want to say too, don't always trust what the game tells you. So here, Select Fire, you see, it says it increases your range and accuracy. That is wrong. And there's a lot of stuff like, okay, foregrip, you'll see, it's like, wow, that's a big increase to accuracy. Dude, foregrip barely changes anything. I do not recommend running foregrip in most cases. I think it's like a very small, maybe 2% or something increase to your recoil reduction. So maybe I'll do a video at some point about attachments and kind of understanding them better. One last thing I'll say here in attachments, a lot of people think FMJ increases your damage. It does not. Read the description. It is increased material penetration and damage against enemy score streaks. So this will help you kill people through walls easier. So just keep that in mind. So this is kind of the loadout for stealing kills that maybe you don't deserve. You can switch to the Remington when you're in the close quarters areas, or like really close indoors, and you got the laser sight on it, so you don't even have to zoom in. You just hit fire. You just turn and hit fire. So that's our standard kind of FAL newbie loadout, and now we're gonna go to the super noob. All right, so this one is gonna depend on how well you can like effectively use the riot shield. This one, there's a bit of flexibility. If you wanted to take off like laser sight and maybe grab some kind of grenade or a like a concussion or something, you could. I'm gonna keep laser sight on here, and this loadout here is basically you are a walking kind of tank a little bit. What you can do is haul out your riot shield, crouch so people can't shoot at your feet and kind of hit you as easily, and just walk forward and start to push into a lane or a room without immediately getting punished. So you have the ability to push into an area that would be more dangerous for others by having your riot shield out. And a lot of times the enemy team is going to bite and they're going to try to shoot at you, and they're going to reveal where they are. This is kind of like assuming you're playing Search and Destroy right now. And these layouts can be tweaked for Search and Destroy or for not Search and Destroy, you know? But let's get back to this. So yeah, let's say Search and Destroy, enemy team might reveal where they are by shooting at you. Or you might just see them as you're walking along with your riot shield. What we got here is Flak Jacket and Tac Mask. So this also functions as an anti-grenade loadout, which I think everyone should have, and that's something that I will go over another time. but Flak Jacket's going to protect us from explosives. Tac Mask's going to protect us from flashes, concussions, and shock charges. So this just means that someone sees you walking along with your riot shield out, they can't just throw a flashbang at you and then walk around and shoot you, you know? They're going to have to work for it a little more. And once again, it allows you to push into potentially dangerous areas without just immediately being killed or punished, as long as you kind of play it right. Then we got Toughness, Essential. I can't remember if I really said what Toughness does, but you can just click it and read it. You flinch less when shot. This is by far the best perk too. And then we got Fast Hands. So Fast Hands is going to allow us to swap between our Assault Shield and our Remington a lot quicker. And so we'll be able to attack quickly, defend quickly. And it also resets the fuse when you're throwing back frags. So if somebody cooks a frag grenade and throws it at you, you can pick it up and it's going to reset the fuse as you throw it back. You could cook it before you throw it back. So that's nice too, because people are going to see you with the assault shield. They're going to go, oh, all right, I'll throw a grenade at them. And then you can just throw it right back at them. But yeah, so I got long barrel and laser sight on here because the increased range of long barrel, I think it's only like 10 to 15% or something. But considering the shotgun is our only weapon, I like having that extra bit of range. And then the laser sight, you could swap this with quick draw if you want, if you're more of like an ADS kind of guy. But I find the laser sight's pretty nice on the Remington, and once again, like, it just simplifies things. Like you push with the riot shield, you see someone, you get closer, and then Fast Hands allows us to switch between our weapons really quickly, and then you shoot them, you just point at them and shoot. Like, you don't even have to aim, you know? I think that's about it on this. Once again, you can tweak these if you wish, to your liking. But now we're going to go to our spray and pray loadout. So this is for someone who loves to have a huge like bullet output and is not worried about like hitting all their shots or people knowing where they are. This loadout here is just, I want to shoot so many bullets that it is difficult to deal with, you know? So the LSAT here is going to be our medium to long range, and then we have the Scorpion here as our short range, close quarters option. So the LSAT is probably the best LMG in the game. We've got the target finder on it, which is a pretty kind of newbie reticle. Basically, when you aim in, there's going to be a big diamond around an enemy player when you see them, and it just makes it very easy to find them and keep them in your sights. I have FMJ as our second attachment, but there is some wiggle room here. If you would prefer to run stock, I think that would be okay. Maybe quick draw, but I don't really think you need quick draw on an LMG. I would probably do stock or FMJ, and I think FMJ is the play here because you're going to be spraying a lot of bullets and just kind of hosing people. And FMJ is going to allow you to hit them through the walls better when they try to hide from all the bullets that you're shooting at them. LMGs already have great bullet penetration, and FMJ is going to accentuate that. And we are going to shoot a lot really fast. And kind of pin people down is the goal here. And then our secondary is the Scorpion. This is the highest rate of fire SMG. So SMG, we're going to have a bit better movement because trying to run around with the LSAT is going to be terrible. So when you're trying to move around and traverse, we're going to run with the Scorpion. This thing, huge rate of fire. The clip is kind of small and it has some pretty devious recoil. If you wanted to run quick draw, you could. If you want to run fast mag, you could, or extended clip. Those would probably be my main go-tos. So I'm going to say we'll go for a laser sight because we're going to be using this once again, close range. We're just going to hip fire. We're just going to spray at people. So yeah, this is going to help out our mobility. It's going to help us a lot in the close quarters. Getting cornered when you're running around with an LMG in your hands and getting cornered is just very difficult. So the Scorpion allows us to play the close quarters, indoors, you know, turning corners, that kind of thing, just more effectively. And then we've got the standard, just perk 1, like for each of these guys. We're going to move fast, we're going to flinch less, and we're going to aim faster after sprinting, which is big with the Scorpion. With an LMG, you might not need that, but with a Scorpion, it's nice to have. And then mantle and climb faster. So if we want to take high ground and haul out, you know, crouch behind some cover and haul out this LMG and start covering a large area, just being able to climb up quicker is going to be nice. So I'm pretty happy with this loadout. I think you can change this attachment if you want, and you can change your last slot if you want. I just have an EMP grenade on, but you could go for a Claymore or Bouncing Betty to protect you if you're kind of camping in an area. You go for a shock charge if you wanted, similar thing. Trophy system, if people are throwing grenades at you and stuff, this will just destroy them. But it breaks after it destroys them, so you'd only have one. You could go for, you know, concussion or whatever. I'm going to go for EMP. I think it's the only loadout I have an EMP on, yeah. And I think the nice thing about EMP is that it is not covered by TAC Mask. EMP, if somebody didn't want to get affected by an EMP, they would have to run Hardwired, which is probably the worst perk 2 out of all 5 of these, and very rarely ever run. At least among our group or among, you know, most players I've ever seen or known. I'm not sure, maybe in the kind of MLG space, Hardwired might be more frequent, but for us, you know, having this is nice, because dudes are probably not running Hardwired, and if they are, you can still disable equipment and stuff like a sentry gun or a guardian. You just take that out in one EMP grenade. So just useful to have. It also has like a decent kind of blast radius, and it can hit people through walls and like cover and stuff. So it can help you kind of know where someone is. You can also like disable their sights with it. So if someone else was running this loadout and you threw that EMP grenade at them, I believe it would disable their target finder temporarily, which is very useful. So that's the spray and pray loadout. And finally, we have search and destroy callouts. So right off the bat, I'm going to say this loadout gets absolutely cooked if the other team is running cold-blooded. So you kind of have to take that into consideration. But if they're not running cold-blooded, this is a great way to make yourself useful to your team on search and destroy without necessarily getting kills. Because this is going to be based on kind of location, tracking other players, understanding where they are, and expressing that to your team. And then, let's see. So, we have the MSMC. We haven't had an SMG here yet, besides the Scorpion as a secondary. So here's the MSMC. We're rocking millimeter scanner and adjustable stock. So millimeter scanner is going to allow us to see people through walls up to a certain range. And this also functions through stuff like smoke grenades, which you'll see every now and then, and just other forms of cover. Super useful. It's definitely a great sight. And then adjustable stock, we're going to move faster when we're aiming. So it's going to allow us to sidestep easier, and it's going to allow us to stay zoomed in with the millimeter scanner while traversing the map. So we can just stay zoomed in, we're moving around quickly, and we are looking for people through walls and cover and stuff so that we can call that out to our team. Here's our secondary. Once again, we're going overkill. We got the DSR 50. You're going to be a hard scope fiend with this guy here. And we got the dual band scope, which for those of you who don't know is the thermal sight. So this is going to allow you to zoom in, see a heat signature, know where someone is, right? You're going to zoom in, everything's going to be green, and you're going to see some guy lit up yellow moving around, right? So this allows you to cover the long range and like long sight lines, which the MSMC can't really do. This is more short to mid range. And you can you know, hard scope and try to get some kills, or at the very least call out where someone is to your teammate so that you guys are more aware of that. I got toughness on. You could run dexterity. I have engineer on again, just so that you can see equipment and make your team aware of it. Like, oh, hey, at the B bomb site, there's a shock charge and a claymore. Or like, hey, like, you know, Kyle, behind that wall, there's a claymore or a bouncing Betty. So like, don't go there yet, you know, or like, let me shoot it or whatever, right? And then we have 2 sensor grenades. So I actually had a bit of a misunderstanding with how the sensor grenade worked. I thought that when you throw the sensor grenade, it paints the enemy players nearby on your team's minimap. But it actually only paints them on your minimap, which is going to mean if you're going to run these, you're going to need to be able to communicate decently well. Basically, when you throw it up, it will point like a laser at where someone is. So you can see that laser, and then you can be like, okay, that's the direction they're in. It'll show them on your minimap. And it'll show the direction they're facing as well, and where they're moving. It doesn't last for super long, but it lasts long enough that running 2 of these in search and destroy, you know, chuck them down like a busy area, and you can see kind of what you're working with. Now, these get countered by cold-blooded, this gets countered by cold-blooded, and this gets countered by cold-blooded. So, you have to be aware of that. You could modify this to try to play around that a little bit. Like maybe you have 1 sensor grenade, and maybe you don't run anything on the DSR, or you could run ballistic CPU if you want, just a little less sway. But let's say the enemy team is running cold-blooded, then maybe we'll go more for something like this, or so on. But this is where I'm going to leave it. I like this setup. Cold-blooded, the thing about cold-blooded is they're pretty much going to have to run toughness, which means if they want to run cold-blooded as well, they're going to have to take perk 2 greed, which is going to take a slot, and then take cold-blooded, which is going to take another. So it takes up some pretty essential real estate from your enemy team's loadouts. And if you force them into a position where they have to start running cold-blooded all the time, just out of fear of a loadout like this, then that's when you just switch to, you know, something else. It's when you just switch to this, you know? Although in saying that, actually, I think... Oh, no. Okay. I think, yeah, they'll still be targeted by the EO tech. So, yeah. So that's the 5th loadout here. You have some options. This one is kind of focused on support in a lot of ways. Earning score and kind of playing slowly, just like trying not to die. Just to get your kill streaks and help out your team. Like if you can be the guy that keeps the UAV in the air all the time, you will be very valued. And you can earn score in other ways besides just killing. Like you can, you know, like plant the bomb, I think is like 200 points, or cap a flag, or, you know what I mean? Like to get assists. You can, maybe you run like some grenades or something, like concussions, and then you get like assists from your teammates killing someone after you stun someone. But yeah, so this is, you know, keeping UAVs out of the air, nullifying equipment, trying to get your score streaks quicker through the use of hardline, and re-rolling your care packages with engineer as well. This guy here, standard, kind of horseshit loadout. Do as you wish, change it up how you wish, do whatever you want. This is just a general kind of the gist of it, you know. Then we got the super noob here. This is just like, I'm kind of curious. I don't know. I feel like this could be really easy for some people to use and then harder for others. It has some camping potential as well. You can put the riot shield down and kind of use it as like a portable head glitch to hide behind, you know, a bit of portable cover for you or your teammate. And then we got the spray and pray for those of you who just want to have a huge bullet output. And a class to help you call out in search and destroy more effectively. So here's your loadouts. Tweak them for the game mode you're playing. Change your score streaks for the game mode you're playing. If I'm playing capture the flag, if I think I can get these guys then I should, you know? If I know that I can't, maybe I do something like this, you know? Or Lightning Strike or Hellstorm Missile or whatever you feel that you are capable of, right? If I'm playing Search and Destroy, I probably want low effort score streaks like this. R6D will allow you to kind of see where people are, even if you don't get any kills with it. You can kind of hide behind cover and like look around with it with the third-person camera. Yeah, so you can kind of tweak these as you need based on the mode you're playing. I think something like Ghost is not necessarily needed as long as you've got a guy like this on your team who's got black hats and who's keeping the UAVs out of the sky. If you don't have someone like that on your team, then yeah, you might have to run Ghost on like most game modes. And yeah, I think that's about it. So thanks, guys. Hope you enjoy it. Hope these loadouts help you. Even if you just take one of these and keep them as, okay, this is my loadout for when I feel like nothing's going my way, you know? And you have some options here. Or if you're kind of a noob and you just need some help, you need some cheese, some gimmicks on your side, some horse shit, then you got options, you know? Find what works well for you. And good luck out there. Anyways, see you guys next time.